Well, today's the day where we hopefully mount the new shocks and springs. And so I cheated a little bit. I did not use my Widowmaker spring compressors because they didn't fit the springs I have. So for some reason, I never thought that was a possibility, but I actually farmed it out a little bit. I brought these to my local auto repair shop. I brought them to actually a national chain, Monroe Muffler and Brake. And they're a national chain, as I stated. And they actually were able to do the job for me. So they didn't charge me, $300 or some crazy number like that. They only charged me, well, some of you might scoff at this, but it was $80. But I called a couple of different shops, and even independent shops, and they wouldn't do the job. They wanted to do the whole thing. They didn't want to do just this. They wanted the whole job. And I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. So this local chain, they said, sure, we'll do it. Not a problem. $80. And I didn't have to buy any special tools to do the job. So let's take a look at... I wanted the old ones back because I wanted to see how bad they were. So let's take this one for a spin. Okay, this one's not so bad. This one, he said one of them actually wasn't terrible. Yeah, this one, it does rebound, but it's not nearly as strong as the new one. Let's take a look at the other. The other one, oh wow. This one, aha. This one here is dead ski. Look at that. It can't even support the weight of the mount. So we definitely had one. There is nothing there. So validated concern. Okay, let's go ahead and pop one of these on. Let's just do it. So I'm gonna pop it in. It doesn't matter what side it goes on, they're all the same. So I'm going to pop it in, bolt it in, and do my thing. Okay, we're actually just about done with this side. I chewed up some of the undercoating with the wrangling of the spring assembly. But I've left this bolt, and this bolt all loose. As well as, now this is important, getting the old shocks out was a breeze because they were worn to shit. So they weren't under as much pressure. And, stuff. So I didn't have to loosen the upper control arm until now. So I had to loosen those up just a bit to be able to push this sucker down with my foot and, do my thing. So I'm going to have to jack this up with a floor jack just to get it under tension, tension. Tension's pull, pressure's push. I want it, basically what I want to do is get it to its laden position. The position it'll be when the car is on the ground with the wheels on it. So, let's do that. Let's get a floor jack. I'm going to use a wood block maybe. No, you know what? Let's do this. I don't like this floor jack. I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy because it's a piece of crap. I'm going to get a different floor jack when I feel more daring. I don't know. Just get it at that. See that right there? That's a nice little structural foam component. We don't want this thing coming off the jack stand, so we got to make sure we watch that so that the car doesn't become destabilized. You understand me? I just heard it move. I'm going to do this slowly. So as soon as it starts to become destabilized, we could have a very serious problem on our hands. I just want to point that out. We just want it to the point where it would be theoretically if it were laden. Okay, right now, okay, see that jack has a lot of weight off of it right now. So if I can move this jack, because, yeah, but that's what you got to do. All right. Okay. I think that's pretty much where it's going to sit with the wheels on the ground. So we're going to now tighten down these bolts, and then we're going to let it go down again. Very slowly though. Okay, so now we've got the shock bolt. We've got the, now I actually did previously tighten the shock mount because that doesn't move. That's in a fixed location. But I've tightened both the upper control arm bushings and the sway bar link bolts. And I'm not going to do the sway bar link mounts until the car is on the ground, because I can actually reach under there with a wrench, and I can tighten them when the car is on the ground. Okay, now I'm going to make sure my brake caliper doesn't get stuck underneath the control arm, and I'm going to carefully lower the jack, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, so yeah, you want to get the upper control arm bolts loose. And how I found effective to do that is by taking my ratchet and going on the inside like this. Get it on the inside. It's a 14 millimeter. Hold on. Okay, so once you get your ratchet on the inside, you can give it a good pull. And looks like the nut is just staying where it is, which makes the job a little easier. And just turn the ratchet around, put it on the other one, and push. Hold on. Sometimes it requires a little more effort. There we go. Okay. Knocked most of the undercoating off. Now look at that, clean metal. Clean metal on the other side. Now what that does is it allows the upper control arm bushings to spin. And that allows me to push this assembly down a little easier. And we can just drop our coilover right in there. So sorry for the shitty camera work. My camera woman isn't here today. Actually, she is, but she's busy making Christmas cards. Okay, you know, the things that I don't really want to do. Here, let me see if I can prop the camera up so you guys can see what's going on. There's a lot of how-to videos on how to do this, and you know, sometimes I like to throw my own hat in the ring there. Do my my closest impression of what a how-to video should be. Okay, you'll notice that there's an alignment problem. You want to make sure that your lower bolt hole is directly in line with the upper studs. And we can do that very simply on the bench. Basically, because the coil spring spins in one direction, see how it's wound this way, we'll be able to rotate the lower mount, basically the lower part of the strut assembly, by spinning it in that direction so there's no resistance. And sometimes it's easier said than done. But I just did the other one without any issues, so. Oh, come on now. Maybe if I'm gonna have to get something on the other end of this to you know. I gotta clean this garage. Somehow I will clean this garage. Okay, here we go. Let me put this in here. And going in this direction, so like that. Watch this. Almost there. There we go. Almost there. Okay. And just get it as close to in line as reasonable. It's a little off. Let's just a little more. You know, the thing is, most of the people who own Miatas aren't putting the stock parts back on them. You know, it's kind of, what I'm doing here is kind of weird, and just a little bit wacky. Most people are putting performance shocks on them. Well, thing is, I kind of like the way it rides. I'm not taking this car on the track ever, and never will be. But, you know, so that's why I'm doing stock components. There we go. I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. And I can just finagle it on reassembly. Yeah, it just doesn't want to... It wants to overshoot it, so let's try it one more time. One more go round. One more go round. Actually, wait. Yeah, okay. It's got to be. Oh, not inline. I'm sorry. Actually, yeah, you do want it inline. You want the bolt hole to be inline. I'm doing it. I'm going the right way. But like I said, it just doesn't want to. That's it. That's all I'm doing. That's it. I'm gonna quit. So while I was at the shop getting this thing worked on, or getting the got my shock bolt. So while I was over at Monroe Muffler and Brake and picking up my my newly reassembled shock assembly, the gentleman behind the counter said, "Sir, it looks like your springs have been replaced." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, look at them. They look brand new." And I said, "Well, truth be told, those springs are older than you." The guy was clearly couldn't have been more than like 23 or so. I was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, those are the original springs, original struts or shocks." And he's like, "Wow." Couldn't believe it. Like, yeah, the rest of the car is not too far off from condition-wise from what you see there. So he was like, "Wow, that's cool." Anyway, yeah, most people they don't take these old Miatas and they don't restore them. There's not many people out there restoring Miatas. They're more into turning them into little hot rods. And what that's going to do, just as it's done with, like, for example, the Willis Coupe, 1934, I think, whatever year they made those, the old business coupes. You can't find one anymore that hasn't been turned into a hot rod. Alright, so I got the lower mount bolt in place. We've loosened the upper control arm, brake calipers out of the way. We should be able to press this down. I'm going to put that little plastic insulator that was on the original one back. Okay. And just push down. Try to get this thing lined up on the inside. There we go. Look at that. Just like it was meant to be. Okay, we'll get our mounting bolts, which I took off, put them right here. Clamp them in. I did my best to clean this area up within reason, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. I mean, I just didn't want all that dust in there. It's a 13 millimeter. I swear to God the factory ones were 12, but it turns out to be a 13. Honestly, the next time these have to be replaced, this car will be pushing 60 years old. By that point, I'll be 70 and I won't give a damn. I'll be like, you know what? Who cares? Gasoline will be outlawed. You gotta think about that for a second. Think about this for a minute. This car, by the time it needs suspension work again, gasoline will probably be outlawed. And it'll be either converted to electric or crush it. That's the kind of future we could be facing with gasoline-powered cars. That's something to think about. It's a very realistic scenario, too. Alright, now I gotta get the bolt. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna try to finagle the it's not sitting at a very natural angle, so this is gonna be a challenge. I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna jack the I'm gonna jack this up to put it in a more favorable angle. You see the way it's positioned right now, it's kind of cocked up like this. It's an implausible angle. Yeah, not where it's supposed to be. So we're gonna jack this guy up, and we're gonna do it. There we go. Keep an eye on that jack. Listen for. Yeah, see, hear that? Make sure the wheels and the jack are straight, so it's not gonna start pulling the car. It's a delicate procedure. If the jack were to let go if that jack stand were to fall off, the weight of the car would suddenly go straight down on this assembly here, and it would be a sudden enough issue. That's why I like to put the tires under the car, so it won't hit the ground. If anything else, it will destroy the rims, but it could be far worse if the car were to hit the ground. Okay, here the other jack stand is moving, but we want this to be in a position where it will be more likely to be. Let me screw this in. Oh, asshole. There we go. I'll thread this guy in. There we are. Keep going. No, I think that's where it wants to be. So that's laden. This jack stand doesn't really have any weight on it, so we're at a good position right now. Now we're going to tighten down everything that we need to tighten down. And like that. And I'll get my hands in there. Now that's where things could get really serious. If, let's say, I've got my hands in there and all this shit falls and lets go, I would probably lose my arm. These are very real risks that you take when you decide to fix your own vehicles, or at least when you're doing suspension work. Anything under the car. You could have all the jack stands in the world, but shit still goes wrong. I've seen it. So, I've been there. I've never hurt myself, but I've come damn close. In my younger, stupider, foolish days. Youth and dangerous things often leads to unexpected and very dire consequences. Now, even age, sometimes people get so comfortable that they just don't think anymore, and then they do stupid things. Anyway, let's finish bolting this all down. I'm going to stop yammering now. And when you're doing something of critical nature, always double check. Just remember, okay, I tightened that bolt, that one, and this one, and these two. So I think we're good. We're good. I didn't loosen up these. I want this out of the way so it doesn't get pulled. I'll just stick it right there. Okay. Okay, now, if I had my caliper pin boot kit, which is supposed to be here tomorrow, I would be able to finish the job. And, yeah, I would be able to finish the job, but I can't because I'm still waiting for that. But let's go ahead and lower this down. Little by little. Watch the jack. Watch the jack, the jack stand. Watch the jack stand. Shifting a little bit, but I think we're okay. Let me just tussle this jack a little bit. Watch that jack stand. Come on. Let's get these out of here. Okay. Now you'll notice that the rear end of the car begins to drop a little bit when I do that. It's not because the chassis is flexing, it's because it's pulling, the fulcrum is over here now. So it's starting to lift the nose off the ground. That's why that happens. You see, this is how that bushing ends up looking when the wheels are off the ground. But you'll notice that when it was jacked up, it didn't do that. No, that's what happens. Okay. Now, I still have two more bolts to tighten up, and that is the actual sway bar mounts. And I'm going to tighten those up when I have the wheels back on and the car is on the ground. Because you want to do that when the sway bar is at its full rest position. I mean, that's my theory. There should be some movement allowance, but I'm gonna just hold off on those. Okay, so now all we got to do is finish the brake job, but the suspension job is all done, at least for the rear end of the car. And you've all seen brake jobs and how they're done, so I'm not going to even bother filming that. So all I got to do at this point is reassemble all this shit, and I'll do that tonight. Brake job will be done tomorrow, and I'll be able to give the car a good little test drive. I'm thinking maybe if I get this, that'll be my weekend treat. If it doesn't snow, I'm going to take the car on a quick little jaunt and see how she does. And I got the trunk back together again. I ended up throwing some touch-up paint on a few areas. Little word to the wise: if you've got this shade of red, I don't know what the color code is. It's printed somewhere on the car. Here we go. Body color code SU. There is a very close match paint that you can buy at your local auto parts store that is a very good match. I found this in a forum post somewhere, but it's Duplicolor AGM 0388. It's a GM paint code. It's really close in color. To the point where most people wouldn't notice it. It's close enough for government work. So I use that paint to just kind of touch up a few areas. Not that they did a terrific job of painting the trunk to begin with at the factory, but, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, yeah, just waiting for the pin guide boot kit for the calipers. Put the brakes on. Get this car back on the road. What a fun project. Actually, it has been a fun project. I really have no complaints. Another thing I noticed, so these brake drums, these are a Bosch brake drum. These are the Quiet Cast Premium. These are coated from the factory with a, I believe it's a zinc, some kind of a zinc-based coating that inhibits rust. I didn't know these were coated until after I started painting them. My plan was to paint the edges of the rotors and the hats and the back side of the hats. And of course this section here, which is not a friction, this is a non-braking surface here. I was painting these with brake caliper paint. And then I noticed the paint was beating up on the surface. And that's when I realized these were coated. I had already washed these with brake cleaner, but these were coated rotors. So I don't have to do anything fancy. They just pop them on. You don't even need to clean them. These come clean from the factory, and they're actually packaged in plastic, so they cannot. You'll notice that some rotors come drenched in oil, and that's to prevent flash rust from forming during storage and shipment. These do not have the oil coating. They will not rust by their very nature. So, little tidbit: if you buy these nice coated Bosch rotors, even the friction surface is coated, and you don't even need to remove it. You're supposed to leave the coating on and allow the brake pads and the rotors to break in by somehow eroding away that surface. I don't know how that works without contaminating the pads, but then again, I'm not an engineer, so just a little tidbit of info there for you guys. Anyway, so at this point we're gonna just kind of wait until the pin boots come in, and I'm not gonna film the brake job because you've all seen brake jobs. This will be it for this particular section, and I wish you good luck.